Tomorrow is the day of Jerusalem, Jerusalem Day, Yom Yerushalayim, and I'm going to show you very interesting tables. I did with Professor Aralik, and also from my book, What's in a Name, in which I explain a lot of things about the Gematria of Yerushalayim, what is the meaning of the words. So let us say part of it, which is really very important because one should know. The name Jerusalem is essentially comprised of the two words, ira, which is fear, awe of God, and shalom, peace. This is evident in the structure. Its first part, Yeru, is equal to 10 and 26, which is 216, the same as the of the word ira. The gematria of the second half of Jerusalem, Shalim, is 300, the same as the of Shalom, plus its 4 letters. So this is really the idea of the name of Jerusalem because it represents the city of peace. Yeah, peace depends on Jerusalem, and fear of God. Definitely, this is about the city Jerusalem offerings and things which really brought people the fear of God. Then it's also interesting, also this has to do with which is called in Hebrew the key of album, I mean changing of letters, yeah, the first letter with a tense or in the other way, but if you take the letter Yud, it changes into Shin and Resh to Tet, and then it comes to the numerical value when the new value. Our total letter is 309, 80, and 302. Their sum is found to be 702, the same as that of the all-encompassing Shabbos. Shabbos come to 702. Our referral and deduction then is that the holiness of Shabbos provides the basis for the wholeness and sanctity of Jerusalem. It is our fervent prayer that Jerusalem remain Jewish, holy, and undivided, in constant readiness for the Son of David to reign his rightful position aside the rebuilt Beit Hamikdash, especially, and in our days, Amen. This is what we hope. So this is changing of letter. It is called the Q of Albam. The letter Aleph is changed with Lamed. It means the and Kaf with Resh, and so the Tet with Resh. Then we have also a further note, an intrinsic connection between Torah and Jerusalem, from the words of the psalmist, which is said, Tov Yerushalayim, yeah, in the Psalm 128, you have the goodness of Yerushalayim. All the best of Jerusalem. This is really Tov Yerushalayim. The two words, Tov Yerushalayim, was the goodness, and Jerusalem equal to the word 613, which is a number of commandments in the Torah. With this learn that the true blessing of Jerusalem revealed via the complete fulfillment of the Torah. Ethics definitely depends on this. So as I said, in my book, What's in the Name, I wrote a lot, and you can see even more thing here, that important aspect of the richly spiritual city, it is equal to the word Malchut, royalty, kingdom, with the addition of the exactly 100 of Kof, the letter of holiness, sanctity. That is to say, holiness and kingship are truly united in Jerusalem, and the sanctity of kingship finds its true and complete expression in Israel Kala, which is the totality of Israel. We have seen that Jerusalem stands for knowledge and understanding. Yeah. כי מציון תצא תורה, learning, studying, which is חוכמה and בינה. These qualities are represented by the letter He, which is understanding, and Yud, wisdom, respectively, which together spell a divine application of God, Yud K. Their sum in Gematria is 15, Yud is 10 and A5, added to the sum of Jerusalem, 596, so it comes to the total, become 611, which is the value of none other than Torah. So the wondrous conclusion is that Jerusalem is a source of seat of Torah, wisdom, Torah rooted in divine knowledge and understanding its basis to Jerusalem. That means altogether, as we said, you have a lot behind the letters of Jerusalem. Yeah, about a very small part of my book, What's in a Name, which also relate to names of people, of nations, and so on. One can get it in my site, GlazersonBooks.com, or in Amazon, or to read it in Kindles. So let us see now tables that we did together with Professor Alik from Grander Center University in New York. Very, very significant, very, very important. And this is what Professor Robert Aralik wrote about all these tables that we are going to see. So let us see now what it said about what you see here, the quarrel over Jerusalem and the blessing for Ishmael. When God said to Abraham about Ishmael, as regarding to Ishmael, I have heard you. So this is what Professor Aralik writes. The children of Ishmael will cause great wars in the world, and the children of Edom will gather against them and wage war against them, one on the sea, one on the dry land, and one near Jerusalem. And they will rule over each other, but the Holy Land will not be given over to the children of Edom. So, now, what more you have in this table? There is an ancient book that Rabbi Glazerson came across in 1963, and which since then he has not been able to find again. He remembers this book, commenting on the verse beginning and regarding Ishmael. The book relates the gematria of the two verse expression to the time when Jerusalem would fall out of the hands of Ishmael. The gematria of Ishmael Shmaticha and regarding Ishmael is 327 to 137 add 2 for the Kolel, means the total of the two words. This come to 1,329. This number, the 1,329, means that Ishmael will rule Jerusalem for 1329 years, which is exactly from the time that the Ishmael, the Arabs, conquer Jerusalem up till the Sixth Day War. This one can see in the continuation in this book. Then, what is also very interesting about Jerusalem is what you have in this table, basically the same thing, yeah. You have the quarrel over Jerusalem by Ishmael, and this is what Professor Robert Raleigh wrote. The quarrel about Jerusalem is not about geographic land and boundaries. It is not about a Palestinian state residing inside Israel. The quarrel over Jerusalem is a spiritual quarrel. Ishmael cannot accept the existence of Judaism for Jerusalem, represents the God of my people Israel. According to the Quran, the God of Ishmael, Allah, replaces the God of Israel, as the Quran replaces the Torah. Therefore, we choose the keywords Quarrel over Jerusalem and Ishmael with the expected number of the ELS, equal letters 6 and set to 10. The probability that the text from the ELS random placement text population would produce a smaller table as that produced by the Torah text is 2 to 10,000. Very, very significant. Then another very highly significant table is about the quarrel over Jerusalem, and who are very involved in the Fatah and the Ashab, the PLO and Fatah. And the main idea is about the Brit, the covenant. It's very famous because the Arabs complain, they say that they are also circumcising and they deserve Israel. So this table, you have the quarrel of Jerusalem with Ishmael about the covenant with Ashaf and Patach. And here you can see that the statistic is 0.5 to 100,000. Definitely very, very significant, which I found. Then another thing which really Professor Aralik found together with mine, that he found here about the call for Jerusalem is Ishmael, the year of the Sixth War, Tav Shin Kav Zayin. So you can see it is 1967 when we got back Jerusalem to its soul, to the Jews. And as I said also, what we saw before, now the most important is this table, because this table is Tshuva, returning, repentance, is a way the quarrel over Jerusalem will resolve. The situation must get worse and worse until all of Israel realizes that there is no human hope to solve the problem by human means. The problem cannot be solved by the might of the IDF, Israel Defense Force. However strong the IDF is, or by concession of diplomacy, however sophisticated the language of agreements, it can only be solved by a return to God. A return to God means a return to the Torah, a return to respecting the Torah, representing the way of the Torah, respecting Torah scholars, supporting Torah, teaching, learning Torah, and living Torah. What we find in the Quarrel over Jerusalem table is exactly this, an ELS, equal letter sequence of the keyword phrase return to God. Unbelievable. So you have here Quarrel over Jerusalem, and here you have Teshuvah Lakel, returning to God. And if you remember, we have the word Ishmael. Ishmael means that God will listen, and we said that Rabbi Eliezer Hawkins, in the Pirkei chapter of Rabbi Eliezer, says that it indicates that the Arabs, Ishmael descendants, will do so many trouble to Jews in the end of days that they will have to cry, to pray, and God will listen to their prayers. So a very, very interesting tables, as we said, and also the explanation of the meaning of the word Yerushalayim. But as I said, there's much, much more about the name in my book, What is in a Name. It's an interesting set of tables about the day of Jerusalem, what is going to be tomorrow.